Phil Hickey. I raced around here for the best part of 13 years. I started out in 1992 on an ex-Jamie Whittam 750 Suzuki, on which I managed 8th in the newcomers, progressed through various 600s, TZ250s, and finally finished up on a nice little CBR 400 Honda, on which I got a silver replica and averaged over 100 mile an hour. The bike I'm riding today is owned by John Harris, and it's one of the 600s that he sponsored Joey Dunlop with. And in fact, the last time this particular bike was ridden before today was by Joey himself in Estonia in 2000. So there's a lot of history there. It's a great honour to be riding it, and many thanks to John Harris for giving me the opportunity. The event we're taking in today, appropriately enough, is a Joey Dunlop tribute lap. And although it's not as fast as a full race lap, it should be quick enough for you to take in what this place is all about, and hopefully slow enough for me to put a bit of description in and just tell you what we should be aiming for, where we should be looking. Now, I'm not going to tell you how fast to go, that's entirely up to you, but just use the information in this video as a starting point. As we head off along the Glencrutchery Road here, what we're looking for in the distance is the trees just hanging over the road on the right hand side. Just past those trees there's a gantry, and just past that gantry on the right hand side of the road there's a low wall with some greenery growing over it. Aim to get as close to that wall on the right hand side as you can, take a nice straight line from there across to the traffic lights on the left hand side of the road, and just pull on the bars as you go across St Ninian's Crossroads just to relieve the bumps a bit. Don't hang on to this right hander for too long. Make early ground to the left hand side of the road and just follow this left hand lane all the way down to the bottom of Bray Hill. At the bottom of Bray Hill there's a very pronounced dip in the right hand side. Stay 2 or 3 feet out from there. Over Aggo's Leap, if you want to keep the front on the ground, just snap the throttle shut and back open again. Looking for a white house high up on the left, good braking point, go down a gear, back on the power slightly as we go over this little jump round this left hander. Get on the brakes nice and early down towards Calderbridge. Down the bottom here, little flick to the left, open up the corner for you. Take this right hander as it looks, but be very careful around Calderbridge. It can be very slippery, especially in the wet. Accelerating hard up towards Braddon Bridge. At the end of this little straight, don't bother using all of the road. Right hand side of the middle lane will be fine. The first part of the corner you see isn't quite the apex. The apex is a bit further round, which is the white railings. Don't hang on to this too long. Lift up, flick over to the right. Let the bike run out and flick over to the left as you come out of this left hander, low side of the tyre, the revs will rise and you'll be heading out towards Snugborough. Snugborough left hander is as fast as you reach it, but build up to this one. You want to apex the first part of the wall you see and then just let the bike run out to the right hand side of the road. Little wheelie over there, right hand lane all the way down here, left hander into the beginning of Union Mills. Take it as it looks, let the bike run out, pull the bike back nice and early and get into this right hander really early. Don't hang on to it for too long, straight line across to the left hand side of the road, over this little bridge, down the dip and then accelerate hard up towards Ballahutchin. 5th, 6th gear by now, nice little wheelie there. This right hander up the end here past the Glenlock campsite is as fast as you reach it on any bike that's out there. The next section is Ballagary, the Glenvine Ballagary section. The corner itself isn't really a problem, you can see it in the distance. The problem is when you drop down into the dip, you lose sight of the corner, and then when you rise up out of the dip, it's 100 yards nearer, so you have to readjust. Tipping point, end of this wall there. You'll still be cranked over for quite a while and little wheelies as you come down here. Pass them around church on the left hand side. Make ground to the right hand side of the road for this left hander church bend of Crosby. It's very fast, you've definitely got to build up to this one. Apex the first part of the wall but not too closely because the wall does come out a bit further round. Let the bike run out to the right hand side of the road and just straight line these kinks here. You come off this left hander, right hand side of the road past the Crosby pub, over the Crosby jump. It's quite a pronounced jump, but if you just hover your foot over the back brake, if it comes up too far you can just dab the brake and bring the front back down again. Nice straight line through these little kinks here. Heading down past the Highlander on the right. Right hand lane, looking for the left hand entrance into Greeba Castle. Take the first apex as it looks, and then just let the bike run out to the right hand side and follow the right hand lane down. Take this left as it looks, lift up, flick over to the right, let the bike run out to the left, and just follow this left wall all the way up. Flick off this last little left, over to the right hand side, little flick to the right to give yourself a bit of ground, under the wall, and then Appledene, the right hander down the bottom, is 2 apexes. Don't apex the first, apex the second. Try and straight line as much as you can through these little kinks here, heading down towards Greeba Bridge. Down a couple of gears, get into it as it looks, but when you're in there, look for the curbs on the right hand side. That'll tell you when the corners start straightening out. Accelerating hard up here. The first right is as fast as you reach it, out towards the Hawthorne pub. The second right, Gorsley, is a double apex. Don't apex the first part, apex the second. Nice little wheelie here over the Ballygarrigan jump there. And just pick your own braking marker down towards Ballacrane. Apex on the right, just by the flowers, but there is a wall behind it, so just beware of that. Accelerating up towards Ballyspur. Short shift up here. The road does camber off, and you will use most of the road coming out. The next 2 rights is a double apex. Don't apex the first, apex the second. Heading down towards Belig and Dorans. Right hand side of the road, as close to the right curb you can across Belig. Into Dorans, very fast corner. Once you're in that, just let the bike run out to the right hand side of the road and follow the right lane all the way up. Centre of the road virtually as you go around this first section, and then the apex proper just down over the dip will come and meet you just there. This left hand is quite fast and it doesn't last very long. This next right, Laurel Bank, get into it nice and early. If you try and wait too long for that, you'll miss the apex and run around the left hand side of the road. Accelerating hard now up towards the Black Dub. Just go around this right, there's a little wheelie spot just about there, into Black Dub. It's a double apex. Try not to apex the first part too much, the second will come out and meet you just there. Underneath this wall on the right, this left hander, the first left hander, isn't really anything to worry about. It's as fast as you go. The next left hander, still as fast as you go, but straight line it across to the orange sign on the other side of the road. Down a gear for this next one. Down another gear for this right. And then the Glen Helen corner, just a bit further round by the wall, is the apex. Let the bike run out and just follow this right hand lane all the way up towards Sarah's. You're going to need to be in a low gear, quite high revs coming out of Sarah's, because you're climbing up the hill quite steeply and you need to get a drive up here. Perfect example there of not being in the right gear. Second right, don't apex too tightly the first, apex the second. Straight line across from there, through the left, across to the other side of the road on the right. Climbing up through Lamfell, very hard on the arms, you're climbing uphill, you're going very fast, so it's a good idea to do a lot of counter steer on the bars just to get yourself through that section. Nice little wheelie over here, about there onto the Crockerbody Straight. It can be windy along here and a bit foggy, but the flags will be out to warn you of such. The kink at the right, at the end there, the right hand kink, is just over the brow. You have to know where it is, build up to it. The apex is just there, and you will be wheeling as you come out of here, dropping down this hill. Little wheelie spot by this sign. Once that's over, straight line across right hand apex and aim for the orange sign on the left hand side of the road. Down the gear, into this right, flick across to the left and then put the power on and just keep the bike lent over. And if you're going fast enough, this next left apex here will just come out and meet you. Down towards Handley's, not necessary to go in the right hand side of the road, you can stay in the left hand lane, just flick round the left, which doesn't last too long, and then the corner proper is the right hander past the wall of Handley's. Bike will run out to the bank on the left hand side, just apex the bank and flick straight off of that, make ground to the right hand lane and just follow the right hand curb all the way down. Short shift into top if you're not already in it for this very fast left hander at the bottom. If If you're going fast, you'll know it because you get a wheelie just along here. Just about there you get the wheelie. Into the top of Bergara, not a problem. 5th, 6th gear. Once you're in the corner, one of those, look for the curbs on the exit, which will show you when the corners start straightening out. But don't go too far to the right. The road does camber off a hell of a lot and you will have trouble getting out of there. The bottom of Bergara, a very sharp little dip at the bottom. Right hand side of the road here. Just try and straight line this as much as you can to the right hand side of the road. As we're approaching the 13th, there's a nasty little dip right on the braking point, so I'd tend to get on the brakes a little bit early, release them in the dip, and then get on the brakes once you're out of the dip. Right-hander, double apex, don't apex the first, apex the second, straight line across from there to the wall on the left-hand side, and now head towards the marshals down the bottom. You don't want to be apexing the first part, but the marshals will put you on the right line to go around this left-hander of Westwood correctly. Heading now down towards Kirkmichael. There's a little jump here, and once you're off of that jump, it's a good idea to be on the brakes. Jump's about there, on the brakes now for Douglas Road corner, Kirkmichael. Nice right-hander, just take it as it looks. Driving hard through Kirkmichael, it's very bumpy, so you can short shift to start with, but you will end up in 5th, 6th gear very soon. Just straight lining all these kinks as much as you possibly can. And at the end of Kirkmichael is the harder work. The corners are a little bit sharper, very, very quick, and you just have to build up to this. Right on the yellow lines on the left, yellow lines on the right, and then round this very, very fast left-hander, but there is a bit of run out coming out here. Straight line as much as you can for this first one of Redcullen 1. If you're cranked over going over there, the back end can step out. Into the right, hold on to this for a little bit longer, round the left, and then over this brow of Redcullen 2. You're looking for a chimney just to appear over the brow there. Aim for that. Little kink, try and straight line this. Heading down towards Bishop's Court. Start making ground to the left-hand lane. Not too much problem of making too much hard work of this. Stay in the left-hand lane here for this very, very fast right-hander. In the right-hander, just let the road do the work. Let the bike run out to the left. And you've got a few left, right, left kinks here. Just try and straight line these as much as possible. And then once you're off of these kinks, there's the right-hander of Alpine Cottage. You want to be tipping in a bit early, but you can't because there's the brow. Over the brow, tip in under the bank, and then look for the bails on the exit. When you see the bails at the end of the bails, that is when the corner's over. Heading off down towards the Bluff section, stay in this left-hand lane, use it as a leader into the very, very fast right. At full race speed you will be using most of the road coming out of here, but it's not too much of a problem. Look for the 30-mile-an-hour signs as an early braking marker. No need to go across Bluff Bridge at 90 degrees as long as you go across it upright. So you can go across an angle, upright, a little bit of throttle on to keep the bike stable, and then power out of here, out of Bluff Village. Short shift here because it is a bit bumpy and the back end can move about a bit. Round the fast right-hander past Gwen's. And then you've got a nice little jump, or a big jump, of Balacry just after this fast left-hander. What you really need to be doing is making sure that you're upright once you've come out of this left-hander. Out of here, get upright, grip the tank with your knees, off the throttle as you crest it, and then back on the throttle as you land, and that'll keep the bike nice and stable. Down towards Quarry Bends. It's a very, very fast section, Quarry Bends. You're flat out here. And you can either go back a gear before you go into it, or go into it in top and then go back to 5th once you've gone round the first right-hander. You need 5th to really drive through here. We've gone back a gear there, driving in 5th all the way round this left, right, and as you come out of the last right, you'll probably just be hooking top gear as you come out of this right-hander while you're still cranked over. You're probably hooking top gear about now. No need to go to the right-hand side of the road and make too much work of it. You can stay in the left-hand lane here onto this kink which leads you onto the Solby Straight. Past the Solby Glen Hotel there, across the Solby Crossroads. Very, very fast as the bike will go. And there's a very, very fast kink at the end of this. What you're looking for is a low white wall on the right-hand side. You want to be getting as close to that white wall as you can, which will be the proper line to come through this kink. As you come out of the kink, there's the 300-yard board. You can use that as a braking marker there. Down the gearbox, probably second gear for Sulby Bridge right-hander. Driving out of here, going up the gearbox towards Ginger Hall. And this left-hander is very nice. Try and be careful about this telegraph pole in the wall there. Drift out to the right-hand side of the road. Round this left, down this right now, heading down towards Kerramore. There's a yellow marking up on a telegraph pole, which is a tipping point. There's the yellow marking on the right. Into here, if you miss that marker, you tend to be running too wide going out of there. Round this right, flick round the left, and make sure the bike is upright as you come out of this left, because there's a little jump there. There's a little jump along Glenduff here. Right hand side of the road. It's a bit less bumpy on the right hand side of the road, but it'll also put you on the correct line for the curb that tends to stick out on you just about there. Round the next right, there's a nice little wheelie as you go round this right, but it's as fast as the bike will go. There's a double apex left just coming up. We want to be middle of the road for the first left, and then apex the second. There's the first, apex this second. The bike will run out, but don't get too far out to the right or even the left around here. The camber does drop away quite sharply and it can be quite difficult to get out of there. Down to the bottom here, Glentrammon, very nice smooth corner. Accelerating hard up through here. It'll be quite surprising how quickly you get into 5th and 6th gear through here. Just trying to straight line all these little kinks here. Don't make too much work of them. An important one at the end is the one with the blue bales and the tree with the curb that tends to jump out on you. You get a nice wheelie across here and you'll be right out by the wall there. Next right-hander, very, very bumpy. Good idea to go back a gear if you want to stable the bike up and just keep the power on. You can hear the revs going up and down there. It'll smooth out a bit. It was very, very hard this section. Just heave and pull on the bars, counter steer it. Round this right, flick off this left and straight line out towards the wall on the right. Make ground early back to the left hand side of the road, over this little jump of Glen Alden Bridge, under the wall on the right hand side, and then make sure you're about 2 feet out from the left hand curb. It's a bit less bumpy down there. Heading down towards Schoolhouse Corner now. Not too many problems, a little bit of a rest here. Into Schoolhouse, it is very fast and there is a lay-by on the right hand side if you do need it, but if you're out that far you're already in trouble. Over the little crossroads here, which is a good indication of a braking marker once you're off that crossroads, on the brakes for the right-hander of Parliament Square Ramsey. Another one to be careful of, it can be very slippery because there's a lot of road traffic around here. Accelerating hard up towards May Hill. It's very bumpy up here, you'll hear the revs bouncing about. As soon as you've got into the right-hander of May Hill, make ground to the left side of the road. Follow the left-hand lane all the way up, it's a lot less bumpy there. Across to the right-hand side just after that tarmac. Into the left-hander of White Gates. It's quite quick and you can end up running right out into that side road there if you're not too careful. Stella Maris, very fast corner. Get on the brakes nice and early for Ramsey Hairpin. It's a very tight corner. Look for the inside of the corner. Don't look for the commentary box. If you look for the commentary box, you'll outbrake yourself. Lift up. First gear change, use the clutch. Because it's quite easy to jump out of gear when you're climbing uphill changing gear. Around this first right and left kink. The next right of Waterworks 1. Get into it, and as soon as you're into it, lift up and make ground to the left-hand side of the road, which will put you on the correct line for Waterworks 2. It's very tight. Once you're in it, look for the exit, look for the end of the bales, and that is the end of the corner. Heading up towards Tower Bends, round this right, and then the next left, there's a bit of a tarmac repair. Go round the outside of it, a couple of feet from the apex. That will put you on the correct line for the exit here. Around this left-right kink, and then there's another left after it where it is very fast, but keep it leant over. The bike will run out, but then you want to pull the bike back to the left for this right-hander of the gooseneck. It's another corner where you really want to be exiting and using the clutch going up the first gear. Head for the tree on the right-hand side in the distance there, which will put you on the correct line for this fast left-hander. and then head for that tree leaning over there, which will put you on the correct line for this next left-hander, which is a bit quicker because you've been accelerating for a while. It'll run out, make ground to the left. The right-hander of Joey's, or the 26 on the right, there's a very, very sharp dip here, so stay 5 or 6 feet out from the apex there, because the dip will really catch you out. Accelerating hard up now towards Guthrie's. The easiest way that I've found to do Guthrie's is just to take the first apex as it appears and just let the bike and the road do the work for the rest of it. Off this last little apex here, across to the right and then across to the left, into this right hander nice and early. If you miss this one, you'll end up running around the left hand side of the road. Left hander, not too much of a problem, just know where it is, know the shape of it. Pull the bike back to the left hand side of the road, and you want to straight line these walls going onto the mountain mile. Be careful of the wall on the right because you can get a bit close to it there. We're now on the mountain mile, accelerating hard all the way up here. If it's very, very windy along here, you will notice this because you'll end up going backwards and forwards from 5th to 6th, back to 5th to 6th, all the time, all the way up here a few times, just to keep the drive because it will be so windy. And towards the end of the mountain mile, what we're looking for is another set of walls. You want to be on the left-hand side of the road, nice and tight to the left, and just straight line through these walls as much as you can. Out to the left, round this very, very fast right, between these two walls up ahead, down a couple of gears, left-hander of mountain box is 4 corners, don't apex the first, apex the second, don't apex the third, but apex the fourth. Driving out, straight line through these kinks here. There's another little right kink, you can use all the road going across there, nice straight line. And then you've got another right-hander just up ahead. It's a bit more hard work, this one. You're going a bit faster, but just be careful not to run out too far to the left-hand side to that bank. Going down to the Black Hut. Quite a fast left-hander. This is a bit of a lead on to the veranda, which is 4 right-hand corners. The first right you don't need to worry too much about. Let the second one lead you into the third one, which is the most important one there, and that will automatically put you on the line for the fourth one. Round this right, heading down towards Bungalow Bridge. Down the gear, don't apex too tight here, there's some drain covers there which you don't really want to be going over the top of. Heading down towards the bungalow, this first right hand kink, don't really worry too much about it. Apex the white line in the middle of the road, and then make ground to the right hand side just after this one to come back for the bungalow. Left hander of the bungalow, not too many problems, don't worry too much about the tram lines because the time you go over those you'll be upright. Straight line across this kink here to the other side of the road, and just accelerate hard up Halewood Rise. Once you get used to this, the first right hander is as fast as you reach it. But the second one isn't. You have to go down the gearbox, hit the brakes, because you're going to set yourself up for the left hander of Brandywell. Make sure you're on the right hand side of the road, left hander of Brandywell. Look for your exit and then just drive out. Heading now down towards the 32nd. These left-right kinks can be taken as fast as you reach them, but what we're looking for in the distance at the 32nd is the Marshal's Hut up on the bank. There's 3 apexes, don't apex the first one, but apex the second by the Marshal's Hut. Let the bike run out, and then the third one will just come back and meet you. Heading down towards Windy Corner. It's called that because it does get windy down here. Just look for the bales in the distance. If you see the bale covers flapping about in the breeze, you know it's very windy and it can stop you tipping in. So if it is windy, centre of the road, and it'll give you plenty of room. Accelerating down hard now towards the 33rd. You can stay in the left hand side of the road all the way down here. It's not necessary to put extra yards on your lap. And what you're looking for on the entrance to the 33rd, you want to go just past the final apex on the right and just try and aim for the 33rd orange sign on the right hand side just there. Tip into the 33rd, the first one, let the bike run out. Automatically you'll come back in and the second one will meet you. Right hand lane, don't bother making too much hard work of this. Flick off of this one down towards Keppel Gate. Come back on yourself, make sure you're in the right hand lane, get into this left hander of Keppel Gate nice and early. Keep the power on, keep it lent over and the next apex will come out and meet you. Heading down towards Kate's Cottage, very fast, flick into here, but be careful, you can run out quite close to the bank on the right hand side. Little jump over here, heading down towards Credner Bar. Now when you're braking for this, don't be looking at the pub. If you look at the pub, the same as the hairpin, you will outbrake yourself. Look for the inside of the corner and then you'll be braking fine. Accelerating hard out here. It's as fast as the bike will go. There's a little kink towards the end of here. It can be taken as fast as you reach it virtually on any bike there is, but you can even use the middle of the road. Don't try and make too much hard work of this. Heading down towards Brandish. Brandish has been remodelled, shall we say, in the last few years. It's very, very fast. And it seems that you can just go into this faster and faster every time, and the faster you go, the easier it'll be. Let the bike run out to the right hand side of the road, heading down towards Hilbury. And towards the end of the wall on the left hand side will be a good tipping point. When you get into Hilbury right hander, make sure you hold onto the corner for a little bit longer than you might think, because you can end up running a bit too close to the bank on the outside. Heading towards Cronknamona. As you enter Cronknamona, don't bother using all of the road. Use just right at the centre of the road, and you want to be aiming for a driveway just there as your apex point. Keep it lent over, and then the corners and the road will do all the work, and you will be taking off over there. Down towards Signpost. Nice little corner. Tip in as it looks, but be careful because you can run a bit wide on the exit here because it is downhill. Heading down towards Bedstead. The apex isn't the first part you see, it's just by the gantry of the tower there. Down towards the Nook. Again, don't look at the marshals or the barriers because you'll outbrake yourself. Look for the inside of the corner. Through the Nook. You can drive through here nicely, heading down towards Governor's Bridge. Very tight right-hander, which doubles back on itself. Round here can be slippery. It's not used any other part of the year apart from the Manx Grand Prix or the TT. Coming out of Governor's, accelerating onto the Glen Crutchery Road. We can see the flags waving, so that tells us it's the end of our lap and we've got to slow down. Now whenever the flags are waved around here, they are waved here for a very good reason, and if you disobey the flags then the officials will take a dim view of it, and quite rightly so. Well, I hope this has given you a little bit of an insight and somewhere to start when you race around here. I hope you have as much fun around here as I have over the years, and I just wish you the very best of luck.